Hey everyone, this is going to be a tutorial on how to RNG the Jirachi that you received from Pokemon Channel in the European versions of Pokemon Channel. Now before we get started, there's a few prerequisites and requirements you're going to need in order to be able to do this RNG. The first thing is a copy of Pokemon Ruby or Sapphire. The save file must have entered the Hall of Fame, and it also must match the language you have set Pokemon Channel to. For example, an English game can work with an English set Pokemon Channel. Region does not matter, so I can use my English games with this European game. But you also, if you have the game set to German, you would need a German copy of Pokemon Ruby or Sapphire. Also, this doesn't work with Emerald or Fire Red or Leaf Green, and the only region that does not work at all is Japanese games won't work with this game at all. You're going to need Pokemon Channel European version. This is the only version that gives out Jirachi. If you're in an NTSC region, aka the United States, Canada, Mexico, or Japan, you will need a PAL GameCube or a way to play PAL games on your NTSC GameCubes. I think a hacked Wii is the easiest way to do this, but you can also use a special disc called the Freeloader GameCube disc. You're going to need a GBA to GameCube link cable. This is to connect the GBA so that you may receive the Jirachi. And you need an actual GBA, not just a Nintendo DS, because the DS cannot use a GBA link cable. Another note to this is that this tool is kept private to prevent the Jirachi from being hacked, as not all of these Jirachi spreads are known to be public or which ones are valid. In order to be given the tool, you must meet the following requirements. You must promise to not redistribute the tool. You must send proof of having done Coliseum or XD Retail RNG. You must have the ability to get the Jirachi, i.e. have all of the prerequisites I just listed. Once you complete all of these, please message at MegaNEPidgey on Twitter to receive the tools. They are the creator of the tools, and they are the only one who can distribute them out. Now, sometimes I have been given permission to redistribute this tool. Currently, I do not have permission to do so because people have been hacking Pokemon Coliseum or XD to fake getting these tools. So, check the comments every once in a while, and I will update whether or not I'm also able to be validated to ask for the tool. So the first thing we're going to need to do is open the Channel Jirachi search. This tool lets you search for whatever spreads you want for Channel Jirachi. Now I'm going to try and keep most of these spreads like kind of hidden, but basically you can set any parameters you hear. So search parameters, you can type, if you want a perfect Jirachi or something like that, you can fill out anything you want here. If you just want it shiny, you can just check shiny only and nothing else. This is for your natures, this is for which hidden power you're going to get, and then this is so you could select multiple natures. This paint section is for a special type of advancement that we will talk a little bit about later on. I think using no paint is probably the easiest way to do it, although you could select all. But yeah, we'll talk more about paint later. It's a specific way to advance the frame. So once you find everything that you want, you can hit calc to find the seed that you're going to receive it on. So if you'll see 1 second. All right, so once your search is done, you'll have a large amount of seeds to choose from. Now, I've blocked out the seeds and the PIDs and the natures just because it's important that this data is kept private. So please do not share any of this data if you can avoid it. Now, what you can do is, once you've got all of your results generated and the search bar is finished, click the Start Seed column and hit Control-C to copy all of the seeds. Then we're going to go into Channel Jirachi Seed Search, and you can go into the Seed Distance column and paste all of your seeds into this box. There's going to be a lot of them. Then, in the frame range, type the frame range you're willing to wait. Now, I'll talk more about how many frame advancement methods there are, but suffice it to say, using the fastest frame advancement method, 10 million frames is equivalent to about 24 hours. So I personally am not usually willing to wait more than 48 hours, so I usually do 20 million frame range. Now at this point, we're going to move on to finding our initial seed. Alright, so for finding your initial seed, you're going to click the Current Seed tab in Channel Seed Search eStyle, and you're going to check the Brute Force Seed bubble. Now, for finding your initial seed, you're going to use this title pattern box down here. And what this essentially is referring to is the 4 options on the main title screen. The buttons spawn in at in different orders every single time, essentially. Now, you're going to ignore the first spawning of them, go into the options menu, and then back out, and then do the subsequent spawn. So you'll see what I mean there, but that is a very important caveat. So let's get the game underway. So as you can see here, they do spawn in a different order, but we ignore it and go into options and then back right out. It's a very important thing to note. So as you can see, it was continue new game options special were the order they spawned in. Continue new game options special again. Options new game continue special. And you'll have to repeat this 10 times. No more, no less. Continue game special options. Oh. The redo button will let you redo the order you're currently doing in case you mess up like I just did there. New game special, continue options. Continue new game special options. Options new game continue special. New game special options continue. Options new game continue special. And I have one more to do. New game special options continue. So once you input all of them, hit the calc button and it will begin calculating your seed. This shouldn't take more than a minute or 2 to find your seed. And once the seed is found, we can then move on from there. Sometimes it can find more than one seed. But in my case, I actually happen to know that this is the only seed. If it does find more than one seed, what you do is copy your seeds into this box here. Set the frame range from 0 to 300 and clear your title screen pattern. And then just do a few more of them, and eventually you'll be on one that is the correct seed. Okay, but back to it. Copy your seed and paste it in the seed distance tab and hit calc. So basically at this point, you're just going to be looking for the closest one to you. So I have one that's only 70,000 frames away. The rest of them, as you can see, I've blurred out. So before we do the actual calculations for how many frames you're going to have to advance, I'm going to talk about the different methods for frame advancement. So the first method for frame advancement is watching the egg channel in the desert area, which advances around 112 frames per second while you're watching it. The second method for frame advancement is watching the egg channel in the pond area, which is about 103 frames per second. Now keep in mind for either egg channel watching here, if the egg hatches while you're watching it, that consumes a large amount of frames, and you can't really control it, and it's not too consistent. So because of that, if you are watching for an extended period of time and multiple eggs could hatch, so as you can see, it tells you about how long at the top of the screen the egg will take to hatch. So in this case, I think it's going to be about 12 hours. If I had to do more than 12 hours of advancement, you would have to undershoot your target frame by quite a wide margin, just because you don't want those extra frames that are advanced while it's hatching to cause you to overshoot your target. So the final method is the report channel, which causes about 52 frames per second of advancement, and that's the last of the inconsistent method. There is a consistent method of frame advancement that you can do, but that is done when you have less than 5,000 frames from your target, and so I'll talk about it when we get into that scenario. Okay, so now that we know how many frames we have to advance, let's use a calculator to figure out how many we're going to. So copy your frame range and paste it into the calculator. Now you're going to divide it by the method of frames that you're going to be consuming per second. So in my case, I know I'll be in the pond channel, in the egg channel, so I'm going to divide this number by 103. However, because I like to undershoot my target, just in case, I'll subtract 10,000 before I actually do that division. So this is the number of seconds I have to wait while I'm in the report channel. So all you can do is really simply just set a timer however you like. If you need to know the minutes of how long this is going to be, you can just divide this by 60. So that's 9.7 minutes. So I would just set like a 9-minute timer or something on your phone and go into the egg channel and start the timer once you get into the channel. So I'll cut to me doing that now. Okay. So at this point, you just hit continue and go into the egg channel. Now, you don't have to start the timer until the egg channel is actually loaded up. Now, because I'm so paranoid about overshooting my target, I do always think it's best to undershoot it and presume the worst case scenario. So, for example, these Pikachu animations here that play every time you continue the game, unfortunately, they advance a little bit of frames, like 20 frames or something like that. On top of that, I'm actually unsure if the egg channel or any of these other channels cause advancements. So I think it's best just kind of to start the timer the second you load into this egg channel here. Even though there's no pond or whatever happening and the seed might be static, it's just best to err on the side of caution, right? You don't want to cause too many advancements or anything like that. And once it's loaded up in here, I just have to wait 9 minutes, started my timer on my phone, and I'll cut you back when I'm exiting. Alright, so my timer's about done, and I'm going to open channel Jirachi Seed Search. So while I'm leaving, as my timer's about to end, what you're going to do is copy your frame range, go into the current seed tab, and check the box frame range from current seed. Paste the frame range that you just copied in the up. Oh, by the way, here what's happening is Pikachu sometimes pushes the channel buttons. It's very annoying. But anyway, you have to go to the report channel to make sure that you're able to leave. The only way you can leave is by saving. So anyway, paste your frames advanced that you wanted to advance here, and paste your initial seed into this box. And then, at this point, we just do the title pattern like we did previously. To find our initial seed. And we're going to even do it down to the point of skipping the first pattern that's loaded and going into the options menu. Now keep in mind that for this one, since you're searching a specific frame range, you're actually going to have to search 10 advancements. It's not going to be that many. Like, you probably only need 4 or 5 here. Just because since you're searching such a small frame range, the amount of the window is smaller. Options, new game, continue special. So like I can hit search here and I'll find a bunch very quickly. So I usually like to just check every time to make sure I don't overshoot. Continue new game, special options. Options, new game, special, continue. Oops. Options, new game, special, continue. I get very paranoid about overshooting my frame, so I like to check every single time. Continue new game, option, special, because this title screen popping up does cause some amount of advancements every time as well. New game, option, special, continue. Alright, so this is probably our new current seed. However, just to be sure, we can do one more advancement just to really be positive that this is our new seed. Continue game, special options. Calc again. Alright, so this is probably our seed. We don't have much reason to doubt that. So we can copy our current seed and go into the seed distance and repaste it. So as you can see, we only have around 3,000 frames left to advance. So because it's such a small amount, we could try the seed advancer, but instead of doing that, what I suggest is getting to below 1,000 with their frame range for this, and I'll explain why. So as you can see, this is our current seed, and we can copy and paste this into the Seed Advancer section, and we can paste our target seed into the Seed Advancer section as well. If we hit calc, it'll tell you how many different small frame advancement types that we would have to do it to get to our target seed. Now, these small advancements in this case can be a few different things, but in our case, it would be going back to the title and then hitting options and going back to the title 512 times. That's a lot. I'm not a patient man. So what I think is preferable is advancing 3,000 frames roughly using the report channel. So we're going to do that. So to find out how many frames we have to advance, paste this in here, minus 592 from that. So we're doing 3,000 advancements, right? Divide that by 52. And as you can see, we have to spend 57 seconds in the report channel. So that's what I'll be doing next. So for the report channel advancements, it's very much the same way as the egg channel advancements. It's just hit the continue button and start the timer the second you're at the report channel. However, keep in mind that the report channel will be advancing while you're saving as well. So you want to just really want to keep that in mind. That's all I'll say. You don't want to overshoot, right? So you don't want to accidentally spend 5 seconds too many in the report channel because of the saving animation or something like that. And again, we're undershooting by 600 frames, so it should be safe. 52 frames per second is a pretty slow amount, but we just, it's just always best to err on the side of caution. I'll keep saying that, and I think that's because it's right. And so I'm just going to wait 50 seconds here, and I'll come back when I'm done. All right, I am done in the report channel, and luckily you can just save right from there. And so while Pikachu's animation is happening, we can copy our frame range into the current seed tab and paste it here. Then we can copy our current seed and paste it in the current seed box and hit the clear button. And we just need to find our new current seed as we did previously. So I will cut off of this animation again. And remember, what you're going to want to do is it does go back to the title screen, so you just want to skip the first title pattern again. I want to keep reiterating that you never ever want to do the first one after you see the Pokemon Company logo and stuff like that. All right, so from here we can just find our current seed. Oops. New game options, continue special. And this time, again, like the previous one, we don't have to do too many frame advancements. We could probably do continue new game special options. We could probably find this in 4 or 5 searches. Options, new game, special, continue. All right. Special new game, continue options. All right. Wow. Putting up a fight, eh? Continue game, options, special. Alright, so I'm fairly confident that this is our new current seed, but I like to do one extra just in case. Options, new game, special, continue. So for me, that pretty much verifies it. Special new game, options, continue. But doing extras never hurts. I always like to do 2 or a few more afterwards, just because I don't want to waste my time, So once you find your current seed, you can copy it and go to the Seed Advancer section we've done before and hit paste and do a calc. So as you can see, since we didn't advance past our frame, we only have to do this menuing 120 times now. Now at this point, I'll do 122 tile advances, I'm not that impatient. And so what I want to do is explain what the commands you can get from this section are. So there are 3 different commands, not considering paint, that you can get from this option, okay? There is the title option that it will tell you here. That is from the options menu, go back to the title screen by hitting B, like we were to finding our seed. Then go back into the options menu. That is all title means. Reject Jirachi means go into Jirachi from options, say no to receiving a Jirachi, and then going back to the options menu. Special means return to the title screen, click the special commands, and the second that cutscene starts, hit start and quit out of it, and then go back into the options menu. Paint is a special case one, but if you are doing paint, it will say, it will be go to paint, go to special, hit pause, and then select paint from there. And then in paint, it'll say like paint n times. Quit out of paint and then go back into paint, and quit out of paint and go back into paint, and do that a number of times until you can click quit to title screen. And here I'll also talk about paint. So as you can see, there's a whole paint tab in Channel Jirachi E style here, and there's a first time button, and then there's the number of times you're willing to paint. So certain Jirachi spreads can only be found, or only easily be found, using the paint advancement method. However, the issue with this is the first time you enter paint, it sets your current seed to this, and it'll always do that. So this can effectively be a static initial seed, right? However, the problem is not too many spreads are close to this seed. Now, subsequently, without restarting the game, every subsequent entry from paint, you can paste into here and do as normal, and it will tell you the specific seed advancements you want. But like I said, the first time you're in it, it always sets it to this. So the first thing you pretty much have to do upon doing a paint seed is once you find your initial seed, you just kind of have to suck it up, go into paint, find your new current seed, and move on from there. And it kind of sucks, and I personally would dissuade you from doing it unless the exact specific perfect spread you want is on paint. Now, also only check consider paint if you've already been in paint once before in this area. Otherwise, it will set your seed to 8,000, and you're going to have to redo all your advancements. So that is specifically what is up with paint. And at this point, we can just finish the Jirachi receiving. All we have to do is go in and out of the title screen 1,000,000 times. So for me, while I'm doing these title screen advancements, as you can see here, I think the best way to count them, since you're going to have to be doing a lot, is to just use a calculator. Do 1 + 1, and every time you hit B to back out of the options menu, increase the calculator by 1. So I increase it by 1 there, right? And I think this is my preferred way of counting, and I just don't really see that there's a better way to do it, but you should just do whatever your preference is. And I have to do 122 of these, so I will catch you when I am done with these advances. All right, so once your frame advances are done, you can just go into the Jirachi menu and receive your Jirachi. Now make sure that your Ruby and Sapphire copy have completed the Hall of Fame, and otherwise they'll not be able to receive the Jirachi. Make sure that you also have space within your party to receive this Jirachi as well. On top of that, I'm going to be showing extensive proof that I've received this Pokemon. So most of you have probably seen part of this video at the very least. But there's not much to it at this point, and I just hope that you're able to get the Jirachi that you wanted. At this point, you really can't mess anything up. Just don't say no to receiving it. Obviously, that'd be silly. So Oak tells you the recirements here, as you can see. And because of the fact that you have to be in the Hall of Fame in order to receive this Jirachi, I actually think that makes this like an impossible Pokemon to shiny hunt. So if you want a shiny one from channel, you probably need to get this from... You probably need to get this from like RNG abuse if you really want a shiny Jirachi. This is also one of the only ways to get a perfect Jirachi. So as you can see, I've got my footage of the GameCube with my capture card on the right and my Wii on the left, and on the bottom screen I have the video footage of my desktop with the 2 capture cards, just so I could kind of prove fully that this is all retail, baby. I just wanted a clean video recording of me receiving it in my actual GBA game, so I used the Game Boy Player, which you can still use the GC to GBA link cable in. And there you go, my shiny, bold Jirachi. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you get the Jirachi that you want, and I'll see you guys next video. I just want to give a big shout out to all of my channel members and anyone who donated on my streams recently. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your support very much. And a special shout out to the 2 Bliss God tier members, Chroma and Super Saiyan. You guys get an even extra special thank you.